everyone's excited to reach out to Clint. Maybe what I'll do is I'll start off with our first speaker, Ms. Ruth Navales. Now, you talked earlier about something very dear to me, which is the issue of generational sustainability amongst our farmers. Could you share a little bit more about maybe yourself and some of the other speakers in terms of what are you doing in terms of ensuring that there will be generational continuity and that the children of farmers or the youth will actually want to be farmers in the future? Madam?
That question really is at the very heart of everything. Whatever venture, either farming or whatever would want to do, if it's profitable, then the children would want to do it. Yeah. What happens is there, for so long, farming has been really, we have terms like talagang naghihirap ang farmers, no? Nangangamote, for example, for some crops,
right?
hampas lupa.
And kamote is one of the most,
cassava is one of the
excellent.
wonder planet. Maybe we can stop doing that and raise the level of farming to a level where it should be, which the farmers feeds us. And therefore, we have to take care of him. He provides food for the table. So if farming is profitable, and we can do that by helping the farmer in every link of the value chain, which I showed early on, then there will be no problem of farming being sexy again or profitable again. And the future generations would have no problem embodying it.
Thank you. Dr. Kamalrat, there's something that you shared earlier that I think all of us could really take away from, is the importance of incorporating technology. Now, earlier I had an interesting chat with one of my idols, Mr. John Lucua. I don't know if he's still in the room, but he's really been pushing the envelope in terms of the importance of training for bread, right? The expertise. You talked about technology from a different perspective, which is, wow, you've actually incorporated it into the entire value chain, from weather tracking, predicting yield, even banking. Could you share your experiences in terms of the uptake of farmers, in terms of new technologies? How has it been? Any challenges, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, actually, what we found is like now all the farmers have the mobile phone in their hand and they enjoy using it. So we just make it very, very simplified. We digest, because my center is the research center that is doing the knowledge management for the marginalized. So we see, for example, like now our smart farm in Thailand, we are climbing up into the certified farm system. Farmer doesn't know how about what is certification, what is the certified system. So we need to digest all the information and know-how into the mobile phone and into the ICT learning center, and then make the socialization among them to learn from each other. We train the leaders. The leader train their network. So that's how we work. So the working strategy is we decide holistically, human and IT go together.
Right. And I'm actually hoping that a lot of the big investors here would look into investments in technology that would augment farming, right? Big data, I mean, once you install the technology and tracking and big data is there, then it's easier to create predictive models and predictive tools. Thank you. I'll get back to you again, because we do a lot of work in digital transformation, but this is really the first time that I've seen a best case practice for agriculture and technology. You speak like a millennial, Dr. Kamalrat, when you talk about co-working spaces within the farm setup or even a smart farm, no? I think you're gonna give Clint a run for his money. Now, Mr. Dante Muico, like I said, Cacao has so much to teach the rest of the agricultural industry in terms of creating greater value. because the support of the government is there. You are at the heart of it all, the eye of the storm. Mindanao is really at the front and center, and I couldn't be happier. But really, you shared with us the great big secret, and you put it there at the top, which is the branding of Cacao. So how did you and the I call them co-opetition eh. Walang competitors in the cacao area in Mindanao. They're all working together. So share with us your strategy for networks and partnerships, how you were able to get everyone working together in the cacao sector.
Yeah, it is important for us to know that the name of the game now is not really one enterprise against the world. It's really the industry against everybody else. So we have to impart that on our stakeholders, that we need to work together as one. And it does not only mean that working as one, doing an organization, that's one thing, but making sure that the objectives of the organization is being pursued is another thing. So in this case, the case of the cocoa industry, we always think about the quality from planting materials up to marketing, because everything in the value chain will be studied, everything will be looked upon by our competitors outside. And it is important that if one company is providing very good products to the world, then the other company should also do the same. That is why we really need one quality assurance system. And I hope that it's not yet there. We're going to that direction. But I hope that in the coming years, there will really be a system in the whole industry that will really define the quality and the branding that we would like to have in the future.
Perfect. I think you're very well on your way on making Mindanao. No, you said Philippine cacao.
Yeah, it should be Philippines.
It should be Philippine cacao.
It should be Philippines.
But from a branding perspective, I have to tell you, I think that Mindanao story could actually create an even bigger differentiation. So think of something to think about, right? Now, Vice Mayor Agaili.
Yes, ma'am.
As someone who's done the branding for Make It Happen, Make It Makati and Singapore, I really have to admire you that, wow, I didn't realize that we had the Munggo capital of the Philippines. And now I just want to eat Munggo, right? If anyone here is into the ketogenic diet or South Beach, I think they should move to your area.
Yes.
Tell us. And also how auspicious it is, no? It's the Mid-Autumn Festival today.
Yes.
Right? Diba ano yun? Munggo, right? Matcha. It seems like the uniqueness of your discourse for Munggo stems from the fact that it's drought and also very weather resilient.
Yes.
So it's something that is really attuned given all the fluctuations in the weather. Was it really deliberate that you moved into Mung Production because of this factor? Or there has really been a cultural heritage of eating and consuming Munggo in your region?
In the first place, we're planting rice. But since our soil is already acidic, so we have to restore fertility of the soil. So we thought of planting Munggo because planting has a nitrogen-fixing bacteria, the mung bean. So at least we'll be able to restore the fertility of the soil, not knowing that this implies additional income to our farmers, additional jobs generation, especially to the agricultural worker who are landless. So it's very important that we have to think also our agricultural worker who are landless, so we have to plant Munggo so that at least we'll be able to employ them. You know, during harvest time, we observed that in our local government unit, very few farmers come and ask for financial assistance because they are earning very good in the field. One family can earn 1,000 or 2,000 a day in harvesting the Munggo. So people are very happy, and if they go to the market...
Did you say 2,000 a day?
Oh yes, more.
I think we're in the wrong industry.
A member, they have 5, 6 members of the family, because it is very easy to harvest the mungo. That's why we called it mungo, the black gold of San Mateo, because the moment the fruits of the mung bean becomes black, that's the time we harvest. That's why we call it the black gold of San Mateo.
Black gold, I love it, right?
Yes.
Gingay, the curation of this panel is genius. Huh? They're all better marketers than me. No? The black gold of the Philippines. Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you so much. Now, later I'm going to ask all of you, which is the superfood that you want to eat? Move over quinoa. No? Forget quinoa. Is it going to be mungo or apparently the healthiest rice in the world? Go, Clint. Why is your healthiest rice going to be the next superfood?
Well, I mean, I think the nice thing about jazzberry rice is that it is extremely high in antioxidant content, but it's also a superfood that's very accessible. And so often when you're looking at organic foods, like quinoa, for example, it's not something you can really afford to eat every day. And
it's not even endemic to our region, right?
Well, exactly.
Unless we're Peruvian here.
But yeah, with rice, it is something that you can really work into almost every meal that you eat. Yeah.
Perfect. Now, I have a question for both Dr. Kamurat and also for Clint, because the both of you are very well versed in the language of the millennials. Like seriously, Dr. Kamurat, when you were presenting, I was just in rapt attention. You talk superfood, you talk co-working space. How do we make agriculture more relevant to the young? I throw that to the two of you. Maybe beauty over...
yeah,
I meant beauty, I meant Dr. Kamurat first, right? Okay. Grabe si Clint. Dr. Kamurat, how do we make it more relevant to millennials, the discourse of agriculture? How can we make, I love how your presentation was very attuned to us, millennials and phillennials. Kami nila Henry, phillennials na lang kami. At nila John Lu, mga phillennial kami. How do we make agriculture more relevant to the young?
Yeah. So like
as a communications expert.
Yeah. Like now, all the young, they consume ICT every day. They love to use ICT. And then, we just show them and open the opportunity for them to let them see that how can they use ICT to make a startup, to be like a farm startup, agri startup, or whatever. So the how to make it easier is go back to their farm, go back to their hometown, go back to their parent, and then top up with ICT and then make it happen. So the situation in Thailand now, many young return to the hometown, return to the kampong, to the rural, and then top up with technology and turn up to be the smart startup.
Very good, very good. Clint, you have something quick?
Yeah, and I think if you go out to rural villages in Thailand, or if you go out to the barrios in the Philippines and you talk to the majority of young people, most young people don't really want to come to Bangkok or come to Manila and be really far away from their families. You know, they come because they have to. They're not coming to work in factories or to work in the service sector just because they really want to. So it actually goes back to the first point of we need to make farming profitable again, because we're not paying what it's really worth to produce this food. And actually one of the things that Siam Organic is experimenting with is this concept that we're working on called maximum sustainable price. You know, like if you look at a normal value chain, a farmer grows the rice and then a middleman comes and says, what's the least amount I can pay this farmer to get this rice? Because they know that when they export it, the exporter on the other side in the US or wherever will say, what is the least amount I can pay you? And that just results in the cheapest rice possible for the consumer. But with maximum sustainable price, we actually flip that around and we say we want to maximize the payment to the farmer. So starting at the retail level, what is the maximum amount that the retail market is willing to bear for this product? And if you market it like jazzberry rice and you say it's the healthiest rice in the world and it's a high quality product, people will be willing to pay more for it.
Differentiation and branding.
Exactly.
Final question to Ms. Navales, Mr. Muico, and also Vice Mayor Acoili. how can we incorporate good into the agriculture value chain so that everyone ends up prosperous throughout?
As long as there's consumption, there's goodness. As long as people are consuming the products we presented here and more, then there's a future for farming. All I want to say is that the road might be long, but for example, Nestle, we started something small. We beseech the private and the public sector to continue to work together to help the Filipino coffee farmer. And somebody said, let's light a candle rather than grope in darkness. Nestle started one candle. I request everyone to start to light their own candles.
Very good. Mr. Mulco, what can Mindanao and Cacao teach all of us students here?
Well, my business started when there was no hype on cacao yet. That was in around 2007, 2008. There was no government support. And we just started on our own together with DTI, who helped us. Now, what is important is that when Chocolate de San Isidro was able to penetrate the export market, there were a lot of players who came in already. And this created a stir in the market. This created something that everybody would like to buy cacao. So there's this natural competition going on right now. When we started the exporting, it was only us and Pentespina who were exporting. Now there are 7 exporters. It means that the national competition will happen, and everybody else will really buy their best prices to the farmers. And I think that's really very important so that there would be sustainability in the industry.
Very good. When I was in Davao just last week, we were asked to take a look at the Davao brand. Cacao is going to be one of their important pillars, no? Making it a cacao capital. Now, finally, last but not the least, best case use for an LGU, branding of a city via its agriculture product. Vice Mayor, what can you share? And invite them all to visit the Mung capital of the Philippines.
Yes. Every month of May, we conduct our Balatong Festival or Mungo Festival. So we invite everybody here to visit our municipality. And you
Agri-tourism at its best.
You can see Mung Production with the 7,000 hectares contiguously planted. Kung ano yung natanim po naming palay, you can see also after palay, after rice, we plant it with mung bean. No? We plant it with mung bean. And we believe that munggo ay itanim, mundo ay sagipin.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I have a small tip for you. You just tell everyone that it's the secret food of models and everyone's going to consume it. Now, time's up. But who here is, remember I asked you, who here is for Team Balatong or for Team Rice Superfood? Who do you think is going to be the next superfood? You don't have to tell us. Please support all of our panelists here. And thank you very much. We hope we made the agriculture value chain sexy enough for you. Thank you. Sean.